exciting. If you need to do a little bit of shopping for yourself, your Valentine, your Palantine, or your Galentine, yes, there's all these terms now, the Providence Flea has their Winter Flea and a special Valentine's Day Flea coming up this Sunday, February 11th at Hope High School. Talk to us, Aralyse, just a little bit about what's happening this weekend.
So, for those of you that don't know, the flea market is kind of a vintage artisan and maker market. So we have a lot of vintage things, but we also have new things that people are hand making and they want to show and sell to you guys. This Sunday we have a lot of fun new stuff coming up. We have live entertainment, we have a lot of food that you can look forward to, and we have 60 plus artisan and vintage vendors for you guys to shop.
I think it's so cool. So yeah, new this weekend, live music. So talk to me a little bit about who's coming, who's going to play, what people can hear.
So we are having a band called Wavelength. They are a ukulele trio, and they play covers of pop and rock music. And they're going to be there from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And one of the girls in the trio is actually a daughter of one of the vendors that will be there as well.
Oh, that's super fun, keeping it local. Ukulele trio, I definitely need to get them on the show and listen to this because it sounds really fun.
I know.
So live music happening. The Providence Flea always does an amazing job of bringing in unique and really good artisans. Talk to us a little bit about, and then we'll get to the stuff because great gift ideas.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the quality of the vendors that are at the Providence Flea.
So the vendors all have such an interesting, unique way to each of them. Each of them are very different, and a lot of them they kind of act as a community. So when you come, it's not like each separate vendor. Everybody is very nice, and they all talk to each other. The old vendors, not the old vendors, but the vendors that have been coming for a while, they help the new vendors out so they get the hang of things. It's just really a close-knit community. It's a lot of fun.
It's a good community. Okay, so let's get to some of the stuff because we're here helping you with Valentine gift ideas for you or for someone else. Because I know when I go shopping, I normally shop a lot for myself.
Yep.
Even when I have other people in mind, I usually pick up something for me along the way. So we wanted to help you, give you some Valentine gift ideas. What I love about the Providence Flea and some other local companies, what's nice is that you're supporting local artisans, local vendors, which is so great and really the spirit of Rhode Island. So let's talk a little bit about some of the products that you have, whether you're shopping for a Valentine's Day gift idea or maybe you just want to do some local shopping. So talk to us a little bit about what you brought.
Okay, so we'll start with the vintage stuff. We have two booksellers that will be there selling poems and themed books.
Cool.
And then this right here is actually our locket, and that's from a vintage jewelry seller.
This is beautiful.
I love that.
So this is like vintage jewelry?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous.
Yes, and if vintage isn't your thing, there's also going to be new jewelry sellers as well and makers. So they all, some of the vendors do make their own stuff. We really like to go with that handmade, crafty theme. We have another vintage ceramic bird.
Kind of like a lovebird.
Right, for Valentine's Day.
A lovebird, and like with the vintage books of poems, love sonnets, things like that. So getting really like unique with your gift ideas rather than just pulling something off the shelf.
Right, and that's what I love about the Flea is there's so many unique things where you can't just you can't have in your mind what you want to buy. The Flea, you go and you shop around and you see all of these interesting things that you might not have thought about buying for somebody, and you're like, oh, maybe they would really like that.
That's awesome. Okay, what else did you bring?
So I brought this sweater, and it's by a woman, Elena Corello, and she has, she makes her sweaters, and she has a ton of Valentine's themed sweaters to sell to you guys, so make sure.
A little more.
Okay.
That's so cute.
We also have vintage Valentines. I never even thought of this as a thing. So you have vintage Valentines, and as I said, if you're not into the vintage theme, we also have new card makers, and you have them for your Valentines, maybe an ex, maybe not.
Oh, that's funny. So you can throw some shade on your ex.
Right.
This is so adorable, and I love the idea of instead of getting super commercial, this is handmade in the U.S. So you're supporting local business, and then you're reducing. If you're an eco-friendly person, you're reducing the amount of. You're reducing shipping, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this is really interesting. So there is a company at the Flea or a seller at the Flea, I should say, and they sell candles, and they hand make them, and this is actually an upcycled bottle.
Oh,
so
cool.
they cut it and they sand it, and then they put the wax inside
Scoot
of it.
over a little bit.
You can barely even, like when you look at that, you're not like, oh yeah, that's a bottle. But then like when you know, it's like, wow.
It's a Prosecco bottle. That's so
Right,
cool.
I know.
And it smells good too. Oh my gosh, that's really fun. What a great idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so there's a ton of candle makers, people who are selling lotions and body scrubs if you're into that kind of thing, jewelry makers. They have a ton of artists and vintage sellers.
I always love when I go into antique shops looking at old postcards, old pictures, and that's become really popular too.
Yeah.
I always thought it was kind of weird at first looking through old photos of other people I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's become really popular that people buy old photos
Right.
and then frame them themselves, or you can buy them, but like old postcards. So here's a vintage Valentine. I think that's so neat.
Right.
So it was kind of interesting too if you can hear the backstory of where they've, where the vendor has collected these items from.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this clock?
So the clock, this is a floral brass clock. This is another vintage item. I think it's really interesting because you wouldn't just go to a store and like get a random clock. You might, but I love like the vintage theme, and you're right, like it is becoming more popular, and I think with Providence being a really creative city that a lot of people could come here and find things that they would find really useful.
That's very true. And then of course, local bag maker,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that's actually a bag made out of one of the Providence Flea canvases.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
So supporting, we're not going to hold it up because then we'll knock things down.
Right.
And I have a history of knocking things down with Providence Flea, so we're not going to do that. But it's gorgeous. So open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Hope High School. Good food happening, live music, and then you also support every winter flea and in the summertime as well, supporting a community or a nonprofit. Talk to us about what's on tap this weekend.
So the nonprofit community aspect that we're having at the Flea this weekend is Girl Scout Troop 54. They'll be selling their cookies. I'm going to try not to buy any, but I can't promise anything. I love supporting my Girl Scouts, but,
But, you have to,
the Valentine's
it's for it's a good cause.
Right,
Exactly.
you're right.
And then what else? So we're still in the winter season. Obviously, summer is always huge, but you guys are doing this all winter and then into the spring, right? What other dates do you have on tap?
Yeah, so the dates are actually listed right here. So we have our February 11th, 25th. It's every second and fourth Sunday through April, and then May is kind of our break until the summer. Every Sunday will be in the summer. So it's, if you can remember, every second and fourth Sunday.
And are you looking to incorporate more live music? So if people are interested in showcasing what they have, can people contact the Flea? Is that going to be a regular thing from now on?
Yeah, absolutely. They try to do live music every time we have the Flea because it kind of just makes it more fun. People don't feel so awkward just like walking around. Like it kind of relaxes everybody, and it's just a fun time to have the live music. So if you're interested in that, as well as the vendors, you can actually go on our website, providenceflea.com. And it's a really simple, basic website, so it shouldn't be a problem finding anything on it. But you go to the vendor tab, and it will bring you to an application, and you just fill out your basic information. If you're applying as a vendor, they ask that you include some photos so that we can see that you would be a good fit for our market, such as like vintage stuff, handmade stuff. We don't really have mass-produced stuff because we like to keep it local and creative. So if you are interested in vending or being a live music show, then you can go right on the vendor application, and that'll help us.
I think that's nice too. When you are going to the Flea, you're not going to see these mass-produced items, these mass-marketed items, because it is a juried it is a juried market.
Right, and you can find those mass-produced items online anywhere. The vintage stuff is really unique. That's why I love this market.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Thank you so much, Aralyse, for joining us today. Hopefully we gave you a couple ideas, whether you go to the Valentine's market or not. Hey, take a date, right?
Yeah,
If you're looking for something to do, it's free to go to, right? We just gave you a lot of ideas.
Right, it's supposed to rain on Sunday. It's indoors, so it's perfect.
Take a date. Take your best friend. Go grab some food and do a little shopping.
Oh yes, we have delicious food.
Supporting local businesses, it's always a good thing to do. So Aralyse, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to wrap up here on Golocal Live on this Friday edition. Hopefully you can enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Kate Nagel kicks things off here in just a few with news and politics and much more. I'm Molly O'Brien. Have a great weekend, everyone.